chapter of Sigma Alpha Iota International Music Fraternity.
All right, welcome back. We just got to see the LaVille Marching Band, the Royal Regiment, as they've been aptly named. We got to see the homecoming parade, or the homecoming court, anyway. So we had quite an eventful path. Thanks for coming with us. We did have to work through a couple technical difficulties, but from what I understand, that we should all be ironed out. And we've actually got a little bit of a treat for you. I've got Alexis Alvarado up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut to a quick 30-second break, get everything lined up for you, make sure that we got our cameras pointing out to people. Get ready, we've got a little bit of a rain. But after that, we're going to come back. We'll have Alexis Alvarado, Scott Shearer, and a little bit more football.
Great job, guys. Great job.
30-second commercial.
Is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Indiana. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
High school boys and girls soccer. Again, they'll start actual play.
I don't think of this as a high school weight room. It's more like a high school classroom. I'm learning how to manage my time here. I'm learning that it's important to have goals and that it takes persistence and commitment to reach them. And I'm learning that the best way to lead is by example.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Lancer Field, and I'm a little winded only because I went all the way down the stairs to the bleachers, all the way back to the school, walked the whole way. I had to go make sure the officials were good. Walked all the way back out here. It's starting to rain. Walked all the way up the stairs. And for those of you that know me, my illness has forced my lungs not to work properly. So therefore, it's a challenge for me to do stairs. And so Steve Cox is looking at me asking me the question, what are you doing that for? It's part of my job. So anyways, I'm a little winded, but guess what? I got a new guy next to me. Holy cow. This is Alexis Alvarado. And Alexis, tell us, man, how's the injury going? First of all, tell us what happened. First, tell us what happened.
Well, I was out there, and all of a sudden, I just feel this pain in my knee. I didn't know what was going on, and I looked down, my knee's on the side. I thought it was broken.
Your kneecap?
My kneecap.
Okay, so you dislocated your kneecap.
Yep.
Okay. All right, go on.
I was worried because I was playing good, and I was getting varsity reps, and I just wanted to be out there.
Yeah.
And so
out there with your boys.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I was kind of disappointed when I had to sit out. And so I have to wear this for at least 2 weeks. So I go back Monday, check on it, see if hopefully it can come off and get my practices in and hopefully get back on the field.
What game was that in?
It was in Caston where I dislocated it.
It was in the Caston game. Okay. Yeah, we were up here. We saw the injury. We didn't know what all was going on, but thanks for the update.
Yep.
And so, how's it feeling? If you had to put a percentage on it, you think you're at 50, 60, 70? Where you at?
I'm at 100% right now. I feel good.
Okay.
I actually want to be down there right now.
Yeah. You just got to get clearance.
Yeah, I got to get clearance.
And then you got to get practices.
I got to get practices back in.
So you know what? That's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. You got to get clearance, and you'll get that on Monday, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yep. And then, will you have to do any rehab?
They have not told me anything about rehab, so I'm kind of hoping I don't have to do rehab.
Okay.
So I can get out there earlier.
All right. That's cool. That's cool. Well, hey, what do you think of the first half? Man, that onside kick, did you know that was coming?
I did not know that was coming. I was as surprised as you guys. Watched it. We recovered it. first play on offense, go out there, pass that Andrew Dillon, touchdown.
Absolutely. So what a first half. I mean, an offensive explosion, if you will, and taking advantage of, you know what, some big plays.
Yeah. They're just down there pounding the ball. They're just trying to tire out the defense. More tired the defense is, easier it is to score.
All right, well, that sounds good to me. Well, let's take a look at our scoring recap. We'll try to do it quickly here. Once again, onside kick recovered by Robbie Pope to open the game. First play from scrimmage, Andrew Dill collects a 40-yard touchdown pass from Aiden Doyle. Leighton Zarnecki comes in. It's 7-0. Second possession for the Lancers. This time, 3 plays. Excuse me, Andrew Dill goes 45 yards on a touchdown reception from Aiden Doyle once again. Leighton Zarnecki adds the kick. It's 14-7. We will throw in Nate Creed did pick up a 57-yard touchdown run. Sam Thomas came in to add the kick. That tied it at 7. That was before Dill's 45-yard reception from Doyle, 14-7. Also in the first quarter, Colby Watts scores on an 8-yard touchdown run. Zarnecki adds the PAT, and Doyle collects a 1-yard touchdown run. Zarnecki adds the PAT. End of the first quarter, 28-7. LaVille then has Andrew Dill scoring a 35-yard touchdown run. The kick was failed, 34-7, and that's our halftime score. And now John Glen is going to kick off to us.
Yep.
And what are we doing? We're swapping ends. Yeah, because you know what? We were at the north end of the field when we onside kicked it, going to the south. So now they have the teams in the correct position to
start the second half.
That's right, start the second half. I like this. This guy's already, see, man, this guy's already all about football and everything.
It's my passion.
Absolutely. And so you know what? I'll bring you in as much as I can.
All right.
So LaVille is going to get the ball first. 34-7. Were you in the locker room?
I was not.
Okay.
I did not get it into the locker room as soon as they started walking out.
Okay. I was just going to see if you could tell us maybe what Coach covered without giving away all the secrets. Here's the boot, end over end. Picked up at the 15 to the 20 to the 25. Looking for a couple of blocks and gets pushed out of bounds.
The return for the Lancers.
Where the Lancers will start 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line.
I believe so.
1st and 10 at the 26.
1st and 10, LaVille.
Okay. 11:54 to go. I will try to get my phone turned on here at some point, and we'll see if we can get some scores from some other folks. Here we go. 1st and 10, 26-yard line. Aiden Doyle under center. No motion. Ball handed off to...
That looks Robbie Pope.
That looks like, you're right, that does look like Pope.
Good run.
Robbie Pope on the carry for the
Pope clears the 35, out to about the 37-yard line.
And first down.
Nice wandering cruise.
And a rushing first down.
That was a good run.
At the Lancer
37-yard line.
7-yard line. 1st and 10, LaVille.
11-yard gain. Rain continues to come, but it is very light right now. We're right on the edge of the front that's coming through. Ball handed off. Looks like Pope again across the 40-yard line to about the 42-yard line. 2nd and 5 at the 42.
Jake Taylor on the tackle.
After this next play, we're going to give Alexis a chance to think about this question, but just I want you after this next play to talk about just kind of the way the season's gone so far. We've really had a very competitive schedule.
Yes, we have.
After this next play. Handoff. Yeah, it looks like Colby Watts. Colby going to get pushed up to about the 45-yard line. So how's the season been? We're 6 weeks in.
Yep.
What do you think of this team so far?
We've had our ups and downs. We went to CMA first game. We had a good first half, 6-6. And our defense, our offense wasn't producing much. Our defense was doing as much as they could. And unfortunately, we lost 28-6, if I'm correct, on the score. And we went to Triton. We were fired up, and we went out there. We won 19-0. Our defense played great, so did our offense. Third week.
Colby Watts with the ball, trying to get around the outside. Gets to the 50, into John Glen territory. There's going to be a penalty flag thrown back at about the 45-yard line, and that's going to be a holding penalty. And they're throwing the flag. Actually, he picked it up and then threw it up to the 49-yard line. So if that's the case, he's going to get 4 yards. And then it's going to be a 10-yard penalty from the point of infraction. So 4 yards on the gain to the 49, and then a hold takes it back to the 39-yard line. So 3rd and 8 from the 39. That's a nice thing about high school football. You know, you get credit for what you've run, so it comes from the point of the infraction. Shotgun formation, Aiden Doyle, 3rd down and long. There's a handoff to Watts, and Watts goes nowhere.
A loss of a couple yards.
Yeah, back to about the 30. Where are they going to put it? The 37?
Yep.
We'll call it the 37. So a 2-yard loss, 4th and 10, and that's going to bring in the punting unit. Here comes Leighton Zarnecki and the punt team. Now the Lancers, a lot more penalties tonight than what we are accustomed to seeing.
Yeah.
West is deep for John Glen.
Bet you Coach won't be happy about that.
Coach will not be happy. Zarnecki on the boot, into the wind, high,
Good kick.
Spinning kick back to the 25-yard line to the 30, 35 to the 40, looking for a couple blocks and gets almost to the 40-yard line.
West on return from John Glen.
25-yard line, so 25, that's a 38-yard punt. 8 minutes and 35 seconds to go as we change possessions. John Glen gets their first opportunity. 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line.
39-yard line, 1st and 10 Falcons.
After the 38-yard punt. Lancers adjust on defense. Lots of moving around, lots of shifting, lots of stunting. Creed, the quarterback on the carry. 2nd down. Gets a couple.
On the 42-yard line.
2nd and 7.
Doyle and Brown on the tackle for the Lancers.
Scott Shear along with Alexis Alvarado. 8 minutes and 4 seconds. Clock is rolling. LaVille 34 and John Glen 7. 3rd quarter of action tonight's non-conference game for the Lancers after 5 weeks in a row in the Hoosier North Athletic Conference. Handoff to, was that Lawler?
Lawler on the carry.
Now once again, Alexis, you know, the opposition tries to run into the heart of our defensive line.
Yeah. They try, but our coaches teach us to stay low.
Yep.
Fight them.
Yep.
Fight the pressure.
Yep.
And get the tackle.
3rd down and 6. 43-yard line on the John Glen side of the 50. Motion. Nice wander. Creed keeps, pitches, nice wander, and we're going to be right there. Nope, he actually...
Ooh. He got a first down.
He actually made a nice move and got a block, and is going to end up getting a rushing first down.
On the carry for John Glen.
That's going to be, you know what, this is the first time that they have been in the LaVille side of the 50. They're at the 49-yard line, so they don't get to the LaVille side of the 50 until the 6:50 mark of quarter number 3. Man in motion. West, no, first man through, not going anywhere.
Tyler Student was there to meet him.
Student, good call.
No gain on the play. I'm not sure who that was, but there's somebody just standing there with their...
Tyler Student.
Tyler Student again on the tackle for the Lancers. 2nd down and 10.
No gain. 2nd and 10 at the 49. Lancers are tough up front. Talk about that front defensive line.
Like I said, we got to stay low, and if you don't stay low, coach just pulls you out. He yells at you. He doesn't hold it against you and then puts you right back in.
Who's a part of that front line on defense?
Our front line right now, the starters are Seth Snyder, Corbin, and Tyler Student.
Okay.
And we rotate them, keep them fresh, because Corbin Brown and Seth Snyder, they rotate. They're on offense, I mean. And so going both ways, you get tired.
Pass is complete. That's the first pass completion. Declan Conroy gets, he's on the receiving end of what looked like a jump pass.
Yeah.
You know, a fake handoff, he kind of turned around and just jumped over the line. So it's gain of 5. Nearing the 5-minute mark. Man in motion's nice wander. Here's Creed. Creed keeps it, cuts back up, and he's going to get a rushing first down as John Glen continues to move the ball offensively.
Carry for John Glen.
Is that just a simple read, Alexis?
Yeah.
Just a simple read for the quarterback. Well, who's he reading on that? Is he reading the end?
He's reading the end, because if the end goes for the wing, I believe, then he can cut it upfield, and if he doesn't, he stays there, he just pitches it off and hopes that the wing can make a move and get some yards.
Okay, so great read that time by Creed.
It was.
4:45 to go. First trip, as we'd mentioned, for John Glen in Lancer territory. Man in motion's nice wander. Here's Creed. Pass. Going up, and it's going to be a penalty flag tossed at the 5-yard line.
Pass incomplete, there's a flag on the play. Good call by the official, good throw by Creed.
So pass interference against the Lancers. So we've had holding against the Lancers. No, I'm sorry, we have not on this drive. That was on our last drive.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so this is pass interference on the Lancers. So this goes to the 20-yard line. So the Lancers, once again, coach not going to be happy about the penalties tonight.
And the refs are doing a good job calling the flag.
Nice wander in motion. Creed keeps it, pitches nice wander. Nice wander swarmed. He will pick up a couple of yards.
Nice wander on the carry.
Where are they going to mark that at, the 19 or the 20? Mark it at the 19-yard line. We'll give him 2 2nd and 8.
Ball at the Lancer 19-yard line, 2nd down and 8.
Well, this would be key for the John Glen Falcons to take their first possession of the second half down the field and put some points on the board. They've had the ball, working on 5 minutes here. Creed keeps it, tackled, falls forward, back to the line of scrimmage, unless they mark him differently. No gain on that one, so 3rd and 8. Nice job by Tyler Student to stay home on that one.
He's having a pretty good game right now.
Clock continues to roll, inside 3:30 to go. Lancers 3-3 overall. Lost a tough one last week to Knox, 14-7. Had the ball late with 59 seconds to go before we were intercepted. John Glen comes in at 0-6. Looked like a little misdirection and then almost a misplay or a confusion. But they do hand the ball off to Nicewander, and it's going to be 4th down. Looks like we'll give him a yard. So 4th and 7 at the 18.
Now they have to decide whether they want to go for it on 4th down or they want to kick a field goal. And it looks like they actually want to go for it.
Well, and you know what? You're chasing 34-7. Why not? Why not go for it? The wind has actually calmed down quite a lot. That flag that was blowing pretty briskly. Here's a ball thrown up in the end zone, and it's going to be caught for a touchdown. West. Garrett West.
Touchdown pass complete to Garrett West for the John Glen.
That is good for Glenn right now. It gives them momentum.
Yep.
Tell Creed got the ball and it was going to be a flag route out there, just deep corners. He just tossed it out there. West able to corral it in just before going out of bounds. Here's the kick. And there's the one that's up there. It just stayed inside the right post. Samuel Thomas on the extra point is good.
So Garrett West on an 18-yard touchdown pass from Nate Creed. Sam Thomas comes in to add the point after, and I guess we're going to keep things right here because I don't have. Guess we're going to a break. Okay. I was looking for Mr.
First West Bank is a proud sponsor of LaVille Athletics. Whatever your future holds after high school, make sure you also think about your financial future. Opening an e-student checking account with First West Bank is a great way to keep you connected to your personal finances as you start on your road to success. Bank the way you want, when you want, 24/7. Apply online at firstsource.com today, or come see us at locations in La Paz, Plymouth, Freeman, Walkerton, or South Bend.
First Source Bank. Member FDIC.
Andrew Dill deep for the Lancers.
Back to Lancer Field as the John Glen Falcons have taken their opening possession 61 yards, and an 18-yard touchdown pass from Nate Creed to Garrett West makes it 34-14, and we have our kickoff, and it looks like Dill on the reception. Going to get it back to about the 25-yard line. So 1st and 10, actually they're going to put it at the 26. 1st and 10 at the LaVille 26-yard line. Taking a look at some scores around the area. Bremen leads South Bend, Washington 28-0. No score on Adams and Central as of yet. Right here we've talked, it's 34-14 in favor of the Lancers. It's fine, it's fine. Yeah. Doyle keeping it on the left side, gets a block, 35-40, 45, and he gets pushed out of bounds.
It's a good run, gives Lancers momentum back.
Penn leading New Prairie 21-0. So Aiden Doyle on the run.
Flag on the play.
Is it going to be holding on us again? Holding on us again.
Penalty against the Lancers.
And so they're going to mark that from the 30. So Doyle gets 4. Holding on the Lancers. It's going to be back to the 20-yard line. So it's a 6-yard holding penalty, basically is what it is. Yep.
Ball at the 20-yard line. First and 15.
Doyle, shotgun. Fake handoff over the middle. There he is.
Riley Wagner
wide open. Riley Wagner to the 50, to the 40, to the 35, to the 30. Hang on to that ball, boy. Down to the 11-yard line before Zach Nicewander tackles Riley Wagner in the middle of the field, was wide open.
It was wide open. I believe the linebacker splits up, so Wagner just went underneath him, and it left him wide open. Doyle saw him and threw the pass and almost took it to the house.
So that's going to be 68-yard pass play for a passing first down. It's first down at the Glen 12-yard line, wide open.
Gives momentum back to the Lancers.
Handoff, Watts gets a block, gets inside the 10, down to about the 7. Second down.
It's a good hard run.
Tackle by Geis.
Down to the 6, so he gets 6, 2nd and 4 at the 6-yard line. Nearing the 1-minute mark. This quarter has flown by, Alexis. This is amazing. You know what, and it's so cool to have, you know, the last home game, we had Evan Betcher who was injured up here. Now we got Alexis up here. So this is great to have these guys. And once again, students, a part of our student body here at the school. Doyle in motion, Dill, fake handoff, misdirection, ball given to Watson, he's in the end zone.
Kobe Watts on the carry for the Lancers and a touchdown.
So talk about how important it is for that play, that drive, after John Glen comes down and scores. Talk about how important that drive is to come back and answer that.
It's really big because it gives our defense momentum. It gives our defense momentum. We're going to be hyped up, and we're going to be ready to stop them once they start running or passing.
So 74-yard drive, extra point. Zarnecki is good, and so that makes the LaVille Lancers 41, John Glen 14. And I'm looking for Mr. Thomas, and we are headed to a break. You're listening to LaVille Lancer football on LVH1. Big D, how you doing, buddy? I felt somebody tapping me on the back.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Indiana are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Back to Lancer Field, where the LaVille Lancers answer on a 74-yard drive despite a holding penalty. 4 plays, 74 yards in not quite 2 minutes. Actually, about a minute and 40 seconds. Here's the boot against the wind. That one's actually trailing away. Picks it up at the 7, to the 15, to the 20, and then he gets waxed at about the 23-yard line. So the ball changes possessions with 28 seconds to go. We'll keep things right here. 1st and 10. So that's against the wind now. Is the wind, well, actually, you know, we've talked about the flag actually being limp at this point, so there is no wind. So that was a great kick by Zarnecki.
There was.
Ball at the 23-yard line. 1st and 10.
So 1st and 10 at the 23 for the LaVille Lancers. Creed bringing his offensive line to the line of scrimmage. Man in motion's nice wander. Ball is handed to Lawler, and Lawler goes nowhere.
Lawler on the carry. Tackle by Zach Atkinson.
Getting up to the 24-yard line, we'll give him a gain of 1. 2nd and 9.
No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10.
That's probably going to be the final play of the quarter. Doesn't look like anybody's interested in coming to the line of scrimmage. End of 3rd quarter. It is LaVille 41 and John Glen 14. We'll be back after the 60-second timeout. You're listening to LaVille Lancer football on LVH1. So 2nd and 9 at the 24.
exclusive property of LVH1 and the Union North United School Corporation for the private use of our audience and fans. Any retransmission or duplication of this broadcast without the written consent of LVH1 or the Union North United School Corporation is strictly prohibited.
So you know what?
We hope
when
you enjoy
you hear
this
me
event,
take
and
a
go
break,
Lancers.
when I pause, you can hop in and say whatever you're thinking. You know what the play was about, who made the tackle if you saw it. You know those kinds of things. Absolutely. Filter right in.
I don't want to take the spotlight.
No, you're not taking the spotlight away from me. Trust me. Back to Lancer Field. Observations from Alexis Alvarado as he recovers from his dislocated kneecap injury. Observations about that third quarter, Alexis.
Well, Glenn, they come out here, they changed stuff up because our defense was stopping them the first half. And on the first drive, they came out here and scored. We came out there and we scored it back, gave us momentum back, so now we're on defense right now.
So the Lancers on top. Go ahead, you got another thought?
Oh, I was just going to say, hopefully they can stop on this series.
Absolutely. So it's 41-14 into the third quarter as each team scored a time that last quarter. Final 12 minutes of the game. Ball handed off to Nice Wander, and he's going nowhere.
Looked like Robbie Pope and Zach Atkinson was there.
All right.
Tackle by Zach Atkinson.
Robbie Pope.
And Robbie Pope, ball at the
25.
25-yard line.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Sorry, 3rd and 9, you're right. 3rd and 9, you're right. Big play in this series if we can keep John Glen from moving the football. Ball was dropped, picked up by, I was going to say his knee was down when he picked it up. So Creed bobbles the handle of the football, and as he goes down, his knee hits the ground. And in high school football, knee and you're automatically down.
I mean, if his knee didn't hit the ground, I mean, he could have been gone.
So -2 yards on that play. So 4th and 11 from the 23-yard line. And the Lancers will get the football with Colby Watts standing back at midfield. Here's the punt. Sidewinder, fair catch, and caught at the 50-yard line. So 27-yard punt. And the Lancers will take over right at midfield. 10 minutes and 40 seconds to go. We'll keep things right here. I was actually going to look and see what we have for scores, if I can get any sort of updates. It's always nice to have some updates. St. Joe leading Mishawaka 21-20 in the third quarter. Eastside leading Fremont 42-7 at halftime. Also, no score on Fairfield and Garrett. The score here is LaVille 41, John Glen 14. We'll catch some more scores here in just a moment as the Lancers come to the line of scrimmage. Ball sitting right at the 50-yard line. Man in motion is Watts.
Hand off to Pope.
Ball is handed off to Pope, and he's going to go right straight up the middle.
Robbie Pope on the carry.
And we're going to give him 7 yards.
Becker on the tackle.
Good hard
Second
run.
and 3.
At the John Glen 43-yard line. 2nd down and 3.
Well, and you know, and you see him, you know, in the hallway. I mean, and you can tell that he's been in the weight room and he's worked out.
Yeah.
And he, you know, I mean, he's a very athletic-looking young man. But you know, you put pads on, and people think that slows you down. Man, I'm telling you what, that's just more power, so you can bounce off people.
What he does, he comes in early before school starts, and he likes to run, get his speed up.
Yep.
That helps him a lot.
There's